Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Richard Lewis Show. I'm your host, Richard Lewis. Sam's here. Sam.
Wagwan.
There he is. Can we say that?
What, Wagwan?
Can't we? Yeah, Wagwan.
It's like
is
a
that
London
right?
thing now. From that.
I don't know where the line is
Culture
anymore,
spreads, man.
Box is gone, so got to be careful. Got to be careful. Well, it's good to talk to you, mate. Been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you been?
Just sitting in my room most of the time. What? Like, I've been playing FIFA recently.
Why?
Because I'm mentally ill. It's been fucking shit time, but spent like 150 quid in the game so I can get some fucking good players, but got some decent players. Shit in the game one night, so I'm losing anyway, turns out.
Yeah, never let it be said you have an addictive personality. Like, it just fucking picture you now in your just picture you in your fucking room, like,
bought the game, opened out my team.
Gotta get Kante.
Like one game with bronze players. Like, well, that was fucking dog shit. Never do that again. £100. Bought all the Black Friday packs. I got like 300k worth of players, and it's just been shit ever since, man. It's been downhill.
Yeah, I went through something similar. I got the new Madden. And that's my particular jam, right? I was super happy it had come back to fucking PC, right? So I fucking got it, and I was like, yeah, I'll get in a Madden Ultimate Team. And it's just like, unless you're willing to... Yeah, same model as FIFA.
EA live in it, and they
oh, of course they are.
Milking these cows.
Right? So I was like, fucking... I'll play some online games. Like I got the limited edition, one of those deluxe editions. So you get like some good players and some packs, with it. But it's just nothing compared to the absolute virgins. The wealthy virgin is ruining gaming, Sam. The wealthy virgin is
mentally pay to win, like so mad.
Yeah,
played against someone earlier. I had like 3 legend icons playing against George Best. I'm like, sound tremendous game this is, man.
Yeah. It's like you just go in and it's like, he's got a fucking 99 quarterback. Okay, that's fine. He's got vintage Brady, no problem. Oh, he's throwing a vintage Jerry Rice. This is nice. Like, it's just, you can't do, like, you've got like low 90s, high 80s. You just can't compete. Like, everyone's just gone fucking nuts. Like you say as well. Meanwhile, EA, all the executives just living in houses made of money, stroking their fucking dicks while fucking money shoots out the end. Like,
imagine the kind of parties you must be having at EA, mate, with this money.
Oh,
must be doing some mental shit, like.
Oh, it's unreal. It's unreal. It is just a license to print money as well. I can't wait for these. I never thought I would say this because I'm not really into government regulation as a rule. But I am looking forward to watching how game companies pivot when all these loot boxes get fucking regulated up the ass.
Yeah. Because
they've had it. I was talking about it last night. I did a stream, and I was just saying, like, there's this Aesop's fable, about the man who killed the goose who laid the golden egg, right?
Yeah.
And the basic principle is this guy who runs a shitty rundown farm comes across this goose, and he takes it in and he puts it in it and keeps it alive and doesn't kill it for food, and it lays a fucking golden egg, big golden egg.
I forgot to cash for gold, bit.
Yeah, right. And he goes, fucking hell, gold. I can pay off all my debts, I can start living well. This is a godsend, amazing. And then his brain starts ticking over. Well, hang on, if that goose fucking can lay a golden egg, I bet it's got all golden eggs up inside it. So what I'll do is...
What a fucking dull law, but...
Yeah, he was...
Use you, Ed. Why are you murdering it for? First of all, why would you first thought me? Why did I breed this golden egg laying goose, but...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fucking hell.
Well,
I understand it didn't happen.
Yeah, but and also understand. I don't know when Aesop wrote his fables. I want to say it was pretty early on. I want to say it was before TV. Before science. So anyway, he fucking thinks that the goose will be full of them golden eggs. So why wait? I'll just go in. I'll kill the goose. I'll take out the 30 golden eggs. Spend it all now. Job's a good one. But of course, eggs don't work that way, and he's just killed this goose, right? So now he gets no golden eggs whatsoever. And basically, like all of Aesop's fables, the message is greed, right, is bad. Okay, greed is bad. You should be thankful for what you have. Be patient. Be moderate. Don't get greedy, or you'll end up fucking yourself in the long term. And I have never heard of a more appropriate 700 AD or whatever it was fable to describe games companies. Like, they existed within a government blind spot and a legal loophole. It is the sweet spot to make money. It was like where crypto was. It's just like where all these skins and cosmetic items in games and online gambling and all that, right? Like, everybody, people just get so fucking greedy. They go, wait, the government's not regulating this, and nobody's talking about it as being even like gambling. I know what we'll do. We'll just take the piss. Why not? Why not just take the ever-loving piss to make as much money as possible? And then obviously people start looking over going, I don't know about this. Looks a little bit predatory. Let's take a closer look. So what do the games companies do? They don't say, we should clean up our house and get a house in order because the government's having a little look now. They go, fuck, what if they do regulate it? Let's go 10 times as hard, right? So then they, just at the point where they should probably just walk it back normally and they'd still get away with it, they double down and you end up with these unbelievable business models that just can't be allowed to exist. They're anti-consumer. That's before you even get into a discussion about whether or not it's gambling. They're hugely anti-consumer. And the worst is you start looking at these companies like Activision Blizzard, right? They actually patented a type of technology where basically you would get put into games with people who had sick in-game items.
Yeah.
Right, and you would typically come up against them, so they had an advantage. I think it was patented for Call of Duty, and you would get wrecked, and then that would psychologically encourage you to go. And they patented this. They patented this algorithm. It's there. It's public record. Again, if people want to go and Google it, it's like they are so fucking they're greedy. It's just beyond a joke, mate. It's just beyond a joke. And then, when they get caught in these things, they always go, oh, yeah, well, we weren't going to use it. Oh, yeah. I've said loot boxes to me. I didn't think of them anymore as gambling than, opening Panini stickers when I was a kid, we all wanted fucking Paul Gascoigne.
Mic just exploded in my head, man. You were full fucking Terminator. What the fuck? Yeah.
Sounds alright.
Jesus. No, it is fine now. It was just for a split second.
Oh, nice. I'll. This is Discord, of course.
Yeah, see?
Switch to Discord.
Discord, yeah, it's way better.
That's no problem. Yeah, right. Right. So anyway, we all wanted Paul Gascoigne, right? But there was one name that I'll never forget, right? Not because of his football skills, but every time I opened a Panini sticker, he was. This was for the 2002 World Cup, right? And I know you think, fucking hell, Rich, you're a bit over Panini stickers. We'll never have it said. You're never too old for a football album. But for the 2002 World Cup, right? Me and all the boys at uni, we were fucking doing the stickers, getting the stickers. Right? Trying to fill up a Panini album. This is legit. This is legit, right?
You and all the boys at uni were doing stickers, man.
Yeah. We were getting up, right? So to put it in context, we would get up at about... The games were on at 6 a.m., right? It was so we'd get up, we'd have a few lines of beak, get on the fucking lash, and then we'd start swapping all our stickers out, right? Before the game started. Yeah, no, it was pretty mad. So it's on the one hand, so we were me and my mate Pierce, we were fucking gonna complete this album no matter what, right? So we were fucking. I was dropping I think I must have spent my entire fucking student loan trying to compete in 2002 South Korea and Japan.
Still got it, I bet.
World Cup. Well, probably not actually. University was a strange time. But anyway,
if a warmth.
Point I'm trying to make is there is one name I will never forget because he was in every fucking pack, and he was the equivalent of I don't know, a fucking Galil Sandstorm, right? He was called Blessing Kaku, right? Now Blessing Kaku,
double barrel, man.
Yeah, Blessing Kaku. No, his first name is Blessing.
Oh, okay.
Right, Blessing Kaku. Blessing Kaku was the fucking reserve right back for Nigeria, who I don't even think he got a cap.
Get blessed.
Right? And he was in every pack from 2002. Just you'd be like, oh, who we got? I had about fucking 80 blessing Kakus, mate.
Anyone need a blessing Kaku?
Yeah,
Anyone
it
need
was.
a blessing Kaku?
Yeah,
Walking
it was.
through the fucking student halls.
Nobody wanted a blessing Kaku, mate. Nobody. Blessing Kaku didn't want to be blessing Kaku. I'm gonna look him up on Wikipedia. You know, yeah.
But the walls and shit, bus stops.
Let me just have a look, because he's on. All right, it says here. Yeah, he didn't even get a cap for his country, mate. Right?
Former Nigerian football player.
Yeah, blessing Kaku. He's 40 years old, right? And he did nothing in his career, mate. It's really sad. He played for Irony Ashdod in fucking Israel, but yeah, he just. Oh, there you go. He did. Sam Allardyce signed him at Bolton. He must have done the 2002 sticker album as well. You know. This blessing Kaku's popular.
He's everywhere, this guy.
Yeah, he's in every pack. Like, you want to fucking sign him up? Sam Allardyce is a cunt, by the way. Just want to. I'm not gonna make the whole show about Sam Allardyce and why he's a cunt, but he's a cunt, and he's a fucking moron. I've never seen a manager in real life play being a manager in real life like he's playing Football Manager. Oh, he's on a free, is he? We'll have him. Like, you can't do that.
Oh wait, this is a different card. But I pulled up a card. This is Blessing Airy or something. Alecki. Blessing Alecki, but I was trying to find the actual card.
Let me. Well, just type in Blessing Kaku 2002 Panini. That's got to bring it up, like. Fucking hell.
I want to see the image of what cursed you in your childhood. Well, I say childhood, in your adulthood. I can't see that exact one, but it's just like pictures of the collection. Nobody had cameras in 2002, but why would they even bother putting it on the internet? But
yeah, this is the thing. Like, you're
right. Picture of Blessed Kaku on the internet. Someone we want, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Like, you are right. It's obviously not going to be there. So there is a picture of Taribo West though. Ooh. Big fan of Taribo West. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, Sam, I didn't consider that fucking, gambling, right? But thinking about it, it was, wasn't it?
Kind of is, yeah. Yeah.
And now it's everything like that's gonna be fucked.
Hanging outside the shop itching for a shiny.
Yeah, not gonna happen. Kinder eggs, that's gambling now.
I don't know about
that. Think about
it.
It's
not really tiers of toy though in Kinder eggs. It's always a toy.
Yeah, but that's the point. You always get something, but some things are better than others, right?
Well, yeah, but they're all subjective. It's not like, you could either get a fucking super boat or this fucking round.
Well, I don't know about that, mate. Like, when I remember getting Kinder eggs, right, back in the day, right, I'm pretty sure there were these toys you didn't even build. And it would just be like, they did this thing where it was like turtles or tortoises or something one year. And it was like, collect them all. And it would be like,
Ninja Turtles.
No, just shit turtles, right?
Shit
and
turtles.
Yeah, and they would just like, one would have a beach ball and beach turtle, and one would have a fucking pilot hat on.
How old were you? 30.
Yeah, I was at uni.
Yeah.
I was trying to get Blessing Kaku. He was the rarest of the turtles. But ironically. Yeah, Blessing Turtle. Shit reserve Nigerian right back turtle. So anyway, and they were shit because you didn't even build them. And then other times you would get like a fucking mini transformer, like a working helicopter where you put that little thing in and you'd go.
As if when did you get that on a Kinder Egg, man? How big were your Kinder Eggs?
No, like to do a miniature. That's what made it fucking sick. Like a little fucking.
I can't remember one of those, but most of the Kinder Egg toys I remember were pretty fucking shit. Like, I was mostly in it for the chocolate. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. But anyway, yeah. The point is that that's all gambling now. It's all gambling now, and it's gonna be made all gambling because of these greedy fucking companies like EA and everyone else. So it's not your fault, Sam. You've been preyed on.
No.
You've been... Sorry, every time I say the word prey, I just think of Prey to Willy. I just think of that.
Prey to Willy.
I can't. Such a stupid name.
Like that,
It's such a stupid name for a fucking syndrome, innit?
Never for Willy in any disease,
yeah,
but...
Yeah, you can't, mate. You can't. Can't. But anyway, it's not your fault, mate. You've been took advantage of by EA. You're simple with an addictive personality. They're preying on you, you know?
Preying on my prey, doesn't it?
So, yeah, exactly. so anyway, greed is bad. And with that said, it's obviously got to remind you that our sponsor for this podcast is, of course, rivalry.gg. All right, rivalry.gg. If you go to rivalry.gg/RLS, you will qualify for up to $350 of VIP bonuses and be able to place bets in a safe and ethical environment and apply your esports knowledge and turn it into real cold hard cash.
Live betting now available.
Yeah, there you go. Did it. Getting good at shilling now. So anyway, fuck. Where were we going to start the show? For real now. Well, look.
Feck.
Yes. Nothing. Not right. You know Andy Warhol?
Yeah.
You ever hear of that dude? Yeah, you know, the fucking artist.
Yeah.
Andy Warhol had a saying where he said, in the future, everyone will be famous for 15 minutes, which is where we get the, idiom 15 minutes of fame to talk about somebody that is ephemerally famous. Now, I grew up in an era where reality TV sort of first come into the public domain. And I hate reality TV. I've said this before. I think it's one of the first things that created this mass wave of mental illness that we're suffering in Western society. This sounds a bit heavy for what is essentially going to be a bit of a joke in a bit, but whatever. It is true, right? Like I think reality TV was the first step. It created this unrealistic expectation that we could all be famous no matter how fucking mediocre we were. And indeed, it also created this sort of disconnect that there's, imagine if I was on camera. Every moment is something to be captured, And so you have these things. You have the reality television. You have the mass marketing and availability of recording equipment. And everybody has cameras now and phones, and everybody can broadcast and record themselves, and then obviously social media. That trifecta has basically driven us all insane, and we don't even know it, right? But there is nothing, I think, about 2018 that even compares to those early days of reality television. Like, at least sort of in reality television, they would find like characters and people with like personalities, and they would sort of manufacture situations, film them to create entertainment, and then say, oh, look how real it is. And it was always like a hyper, stylized version of reality, So it wasn't as bad as what we have now, where it's like literally people can just be famous for fucking I don't even know what. Like, I don't even know what. Like, I watched
slapping their brother in a vine, but
yeah, exactly. Like, do it for the vine, right? So I watched this interview, which I might even put it in the description when we put this video up. About a guy called Sam Vaknin. And Sam Vaknin was a guy who worked in the financial sector. He committed a bunch of financial crimes, and then he was diagnosed with like psychopathy. And then and he was like relieved, actually, and he went to jail and he got out, and now he just talks about narcissistic personality disorder. So he was like a borderline psychopath with narcissistic personality disorder, and he did this talk about how social media is basically encouraging narcissistic personality disorder. So I was watching that, and I was just thinking about some of the points he made. And one of the points that he made was that if you go and look at the biggest like Instagram accounts, all of the biggest Instagram accounts are famous for absolutely nothing. They don't even have any content there. It'll be like, a model who just takes pictures of herself, or a guy who just has a lot of money, right, and is affluent and just takes a picture of him doing things with his money. And they don't create any content. They've got millions and millions of followers for no real reason, no discernible reason, And he says that just tells you all you need to know. That is like the worst thing that can happen. So, packaging all of that, has there ever been a guy that is famous for just, I don't know, just no real reason to the same degree as Wide Net Guy? Like, this guy is famous for having a fucking wide neck.
Is a big neck, boy.
It has got a big neck. I don't know if you can bring up a picture
It's
of
a
this
record
guy.
changing neck.
But why do I even know who this guy is, though? You know what I mean? Why do I know who this guy is? He's just got a deformed neck. Like, that's it. He's just got a deformed neck.
It looks like he tried to tattoo on a real neck as well.
Yeah, I know.
With where a
Did
real
he?
neck would be.
Yeah. Did it swell up maybe after the tattoo? Like, it's like when I first saw this picture like coming across Twitter, I thought it was a lie. You know, I thought it was like a fucking, just Photoshop or something, right? But like, it isn't. It's real. He's got a real fucking neck. And like we were talking about on before the show. Yeah, wait, you need to play this properly. So just pause that. Yeah, pause that. No. Pause that. You need sound. You need sound, mate. Pause it. Pause it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's got a snack. He's got a snack, right? So, like we were talking about, right? Like, basically, wide neck guy, as is his name. He's got what we had to come up with a new word for it. He's got a thick neck, a thick. Now, a snack is a snake-like neck, a real thin one that barely supports your head. So anyway, he did this video where there's this other kid who's famous for having a thin neck, a pencil neck. Like, this kid is neck. I know.
He's famous for having a pencil neck. You said that as if like we're on a fucking episode of the One Show. And this next feature is about a boy with a really small pencil neck.
Right. No, but like, mate, seriously, his neck's as thick as my fucking wrist. Like, I think my wrist might be thicker actually. Like, how does it support his head? Like, how does he not just like?
He looks like fucking Sid from Toy Story as well, but
yeah, good shout. Like, a malnourished, in the late, ravaged with some disease.
Oh, it needs a magnifying glass, but.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll get this. We'll sync this and play it because as part of the publicity to like promote themselves.
Publicity.
Yeah, the thin neck.
Or they launching a label.
Well, who knows? Thin neck and wide neck decided to meet up, and this is the result. So just
the fucking Lauren Hardy of the neck community, like big neck, small neck. Right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, and that fucking wide neck. Oh, he don't want no smoke.
Why that nigga daddy long neck? I'm about to beat his ass. Boy, I'm about to snap his ass. Tighten up, let's go.
Oh, neck, man.
Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a roof.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, look at his neck, you know, and the fucking snack clips.
Don't get me wrong. That is straight fucking fire, right? Like that video. But why are they famous? Because of their necks. I can't process it, mate.
This Twitter's gotten the bio, by the way. Best hashtag wide neck gang face fan page.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Not affiliated with wide neck.
As if he's just known as wide neck.
Well, that's it, right? Now, here's the thing. I saw even Joe Rogan was talking about this motherfucker. Like, Joe Rogan had him on, he was talking about him on a podcast saying apparently
this
he's going
guy's
to go into
motherfucking
MMA.
neck.
Yeah, you know.
Why? Because he couldn't get choked out as easy.
Well, like, okay, one of the things that a lot of people probably don't know, I don't know how many people do, fucking fighting or boxing or anything like that. is obviously a big part of the like knockout potential is head movement when you get caught, right? Like the snap, right? You call it the snap, you know? Like if you ever saw fucking early Mike Tyson, what Mike Tyson used to do, Mike Tyson would put weights on his chest and he would do press ups off the back of his neck to work like, you know, all these neck muscles going into the traps, going into traps. And you know, you couldn't put the snap, no matter how hard you hit fucking Mike Tyson, like you couldn't put any snap into his fucking neck. Now that was vintage Mike Tyson I'm talking about before he got fucking put in prison. But you know, I was like, there was a video of him, like the same workout video. He was like doing this, and then it would just cut to him, and he'd be like playing with like some declawed fucking tiger that he had as a pet, and it would just be batting him around the head. And he'd go, he loved to play, he loved to get wild. We love to have some rough and tumble. It's a fucking tiger, Mike. You know what I mean? Like he's a fucking vintage Mike Tyson.
Still got
was
teeth,
the best.
but
well, yeah, still got teeth.
Pull the claws out. Still got fucking a good 80% of the killing power. Like,
yeah. Right. I don't give a fuck. I've said this before. I know Muhammad Ali, you know, is widely considered the greatest, but vintage, like young Iron Mike Tyson before Buster Douglas, he'd have fucking killed anyone you put in the ring. Anyone. He was unbelievable. He just wasn't looked after. Just wasn't a talent that was fucking nurtured in the right way. Real sad story. And you know, went through a lot of tragedy and stuff as well. You know, people don't know he had like a child that passed away. So yeah. But anyway, fucking, you know, Mike Tyson, he had this big old neck. You couldn't hurt that cunt. So what they think they're gonna do is that wide neck, who has a bigger neck than Mike Tyson.
Maybe he's still floppy, but you don't know what that's made out of. You don't know what this muscle. Maybe it's just fluids or something. Fuck knows. You don't know what's inside that wide neck.
You're right. I don't.
He could still be floppy as fuck.
I'm not a neck doctor.
I reckon he takes a couple of digs and we'll see how he goes. We'll get fucking thin neck to give him an old one too, but see how his face rumbles. See if his neck just holds strong.
You know, like Joe said on his fucking show, you know, you can't teach, like you can't come to the fight game too late, right? Like there's too much to learn. And like if this guy, you know, he'll be fighting in some bumfuck promotion, like the ones that put up, what was it, fucking, they wanted to have DMX fight Coolio or something. You ever see that one?
That'd be fire, mate.
Well, no, but because they both had mad debts to pay or something. Let me. I want to see. Was it DMX versus Coolio?
Was it going to be MMA or boxing?
Like I don't even know. Like you're just gonna put them in the ring and see what happens. Oh no, it was DMX was gonna fight somebody, and he dropped out and got replaced by Coolio. Yeah, it was DMX was gonna fight Eric Martinez. That was it. And what happened was DMX thought it was fake, like wrestling, right? And he went, so yeah, I get to win. Whoa, we're making dog noises and all that. And he went, no, it's a real fight, mate. And he went, no, but I mean, like, I'm the celebrity, so like and then he dropped out, so they got Coolio, who had a bunch of debts to fucking fight in his stead. But anyway, look, I've actually got a picture of the promotion here. This is how bad it is. It was the only reason it caught my interest, because obviously I go right the way back with MMA and UFC, and I used to be a huge Tank Abbott fan. And one of the fights on this card was, well, the headlining fight was Butterbean versus Tank Abbott. It's like, I don't know about that, dog.
Mate, if you're talking about necks, Butterbean's up there. Like, you got a thick boy.
No, he's just got no neck. His head is just on his tits,
exactly.
Isn't it?
But so he's getting fat back at like fucking support, but can't punch his head back. So he just bounces back.
Yeah, just wild. I can't even believe Butterbean is still with us. But yeah, fucking, you know, I tell you what I did watch. I watched the fucking saddest fight that should never have been allowed to go ahead. You watched the Tito Ortiz Chuck Liddell fight?
Nah, I couldn't watch it, but
it's sad, man. Like, I don't want to say too much, because but Chuck is, you know, you'll bump into him in Vegas at parties and stuff. He's out there from time to time. Let's put it that way. and it's sad, you know. Like Dana did the best thing he could do by giving him a job and saying like, I'm just never gonna sanction a fight, and it's like his mechanism is starting to fucking go, you know. Like when he talks, you can hear it. It's sad. It's like, when you see all them fucking boxers late in the career when they're all fucking CTE'd out their mind, and it's like you watch an interview with them when they were 20, and they're all like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go in there and I'm gonna do my best and I'm gonna work the jab and slip it, and we're gonna," and like they're articulate and upbeat and shit. Then you watch them like 20 years later, and they've got speech impediments they didn't even have before. Like, I'm gonna hit him and try and win, and like, fuck, dude, like it's fucking sad, you know. But yeah, fucking that was really bad. And obviously Tito fucking knocked Liddell out, right? Which just, it's unthinkable. The Chuck that you used to watch, he had fucking granite jaw and even heavier fucking hand. The Iceman, he was a beast, but just sad now. But definitely not as sad as Butterbean versus Tank Abbott or Coolio versus Eric Martin.
That fight actually go ahead. Coolio
I can't even remember because it was by Thunder Promotions, so I don't even know if this actually went ahead or not. If it did, I can't imagine Butterbean would have beat Tank Abbott. That would have been fucking. But yeah, I just tapped all the way out. It was like it only came across my radar because it was like fucking DMX was trying to find new and novel ways to pay off all the debts he owes, and he was in trouble with the law again. So he was like wanting to do like fighting. And then it was like when he realized it wasn't like wrestling, he fucking shit his pants.
He was smart. He would have went straight to the WWE, but Vince McMahon took that shit.
Yeah, I'd be down with that. Be down with him in the WWE. Right. Anyway, so yeah, white people are famous for their necks now, Sam. People are famous for their necks. It's just, I don't know if we're gonna make it as a species. People are worried about global warming. I'm worried about necks. and people being like,
thick necks.
People come up to me and seen that wide neck guy? I'm like, yeah, unfortunately I have. Yay, brilliant, isn't he?
Who said that, man? Who's ever come up to that white neck guy's brilliant? He is. He's I love his work, like tremendous. Fuck,
Definitely happened.
Love his
brilliant,
work.
Isn't he? Yeah, I love it when he shows his neck.
You see that cameo from fucking Thin Neck last week? Genius, pure genius.
Pure genius, because they got different types of neck. One's freakishly thin and one's freakishly
After the
thick.
fourth time watching around, I realised what's mental is he got him on because one's got a massive neck and the other's got a tiny neck. It's like the chicken neck.
Yeah, just classic.
And he's a good guy because at any time, thick neck could have just rang little neck at any point, just ended it, but he chose not to. Like that's why
it's just classic neck juxtaposition, Sam, which we all know. That's how comedy works, isn't it? You take a really thin neck and a really thick neck, and you put them side by side. And
fat guy in little coat, thick neck and little neck. The comedy basics, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's a staple. It goes back as far as Aesop's fables. Lessons to be learnt in those the old fables about necks.
Their necks.
All right, then. So I didn't really plan out the show at all, which is why I'm glad.
We were hoping thick neck segment go at least another 30 minutes.
Yeah, but between Blessing Kaku and Wide Neck, we're doing all right. But I did come across a story. You know how we did a story in a previous podcast about the Buddhist monk that was wilding the fuck out, and basically what happened was social fucking
Yelp
media.
Reviews,
Yeah, bad Yelp reviews. Drove him nuts, and he went fucking wild and started verbally abusing people on Yelp. Well, I'm starting to think, right? Because when I think of a Buddhist monk, right? I've been out there, traveled, visited Buddhist temples. I was interested in it. I read about it a lot. What?
Leave a review.
Yeah. I should have done. It was in a time before Yelp. It was a time before the world went mad, and yeah, always been interested in Buddhism, you know. But I'm just starting to think that they're kind of just the same as everyone else. Like there was always this kind of like, oh, he's a Buddhist, you know, like they don't get flapped, they don't get ruffled, you know, they've got some kind of like wisdom that the rest of us,
they
you know,
like to
don't
say
have.
they have, don't they? They like
Yeah,
to say
yeah.
they're fucking calm, but obviously
Yeah.
you can break a monk, mate.
Well, here's the thing.
It
they're
depends
just like,
what
you know,
level monk got, mate. So, you know, you level up through the ranks. I don't know how the system works, but there are levels of monk. You've got to do
Well,
some serious fucking Zen mode to reach max level monk.
yeah, well, you know, they even have a neck scale.
Thicker
but
the
no,
neck, the more Zen, mate. They deflect more bullshit away from it.
but here's the thing. I saw this story in Pink News, right, which is you know, gay news that affects the LGBT community, and this story, you know, it shows they're just like you and me, or maybe not like you and me, but you know, like Keith Vaz. This is the
Love
headline.
poppers.
They fucking love poppers, mate. Buddhist monk filmed having meth-fueled gay sex in temple, mate. He's fucking.
That's seriously blowing the fucking lid off on it, mate.
Mate, he's on a hype thing.
Could have started
mate.
with a joint, mate, as if he's gone from Buddhist monk to straight meth bum sex. That's mental.
Right? A Buddhist monk in Taiwan has been arrested and expelled from the temple. Very
I would
un-Buddhist
think so.
of them. After videos of him allegedly having gay sex. I don't know why. We'll put the allegedly. Yeah, well, it looks pretty gay. I'm not going to lie. After videos of him allegedly having gay sex and smoking meth in his temple were reportedly leaked by his ex-boyfriend. Now, this is where it gets funny, so don't laugh. Master Kai Hung. His surname's Hung, mate. Master Kai Hung, 29, was Secretary General of the Chinese Young Buddhist Association and a rising star in the organization until his room in Taiwan's Chongfo Temple was raided in November by police who found 19 grams of amphetamine tablets,
Fucking hell.
smoking pipes, and a holy water bottle filled with lube.
Lube. Oh, no. Wait a minute. I thought it was a fucking meme.
Yeah. And then officers also discovered anal relaxants,
Poppers.
erection medication, and you need all these things, obviously, and aphrodisiacs, as well as 2 USB drives containing more than 200 gigabytes of porn, including videos, which it has been claimed show Kai Hung having gay sex while smoking meth.
Doubling up.
Yeah, literally. I don't know if you can see it, but I think that's him just
I don't
want
to see it.
Yeah, all right, then.
I don't want to see it, man.
Are you sure, man?
I don't want to see it.
It's banter.
No, it's not.
That's it, what a boy. But yeah, I thought, you know, it just shows Buddhist monks. He has got a bit of a weird nipple in the picture, but...
Yeah, as if it's actually pictures. Glad I haven't clicked this link now.
Oh, mate,
I'm trying to read the news and I'm getting hit with a fucking meth smoking monk getting bummed. Like, what's this? It's 9 a.m. Trying to have my coffee.
He's doing the bumming, mate.
Sound then. I'll click it. Fucking why not? I didn't realise it was fucking so classy material. Like, it'd be silly of me to assume you could take it while smoking. You'd be fucking going everywhere. Whoa, I can't like them, man.
Yo! The flames all over the place.
It's a fucking eyebrow,
yeah. Down in the back.
Get out of holy water bottle. I'm chafing.
So that was pretty wild. I thought that was a wild story. I had some other stuff. Let me see. That I wanted to bring up on the show. Oh yeah, we'll definitely get into that one. Sorry, I had like a million tabs, like fucking open. All right, yeah. Here we go. This is what we'll get on to next. So, PETA, right? You know PETA, not the people, the animals, man.
Crouch.
No, not
He is
Crouch.
an animal. Like.
Yeah. Oh, he is. He's been quite funny lately. I don't know if you've seen Peter Crouch doing. He's been doing like this, like
He's always looked
telling
funny.
all stories about his career. Well, look, I used to think Peter Crouch, he just looked like fucking Nosferatu back in the day, didn't he? Like his all gangly teeth and
Looks like he
gangly
can't
limbs.
control his legs, probably, but.
But I remember when there was what started making me wake up to Peter Crouch being a funny cunt was I think it was on like Soccer AM or something. They were doing an interview with him, and like somebody asked him, like it was like people ask questions, like the audience, and somebody said like, "What would you be if you weren't a footballer?" And he just like, sort of like thought over for a few seconds and went, "A virgin." Banter, right? He fucking he was a funny cunt, nothing beats the Steven Gerrard story. I've told you this, right? I must stop. Right, well, do you remember Shoot magazine?
Yeah.
Right, like it was a magazine for kids about football, and it would do these like side panels, right, where it would do interviews, and it would just be like quick fire questions with 1-word answers, and right, one of the questions was favorite cheese, and Steven Gerrard went melted. Just imagine being that thick, like, oh, that's
you were thinking grated, sliced,
melted. Exactly. Melted. You know what I mean? Oh, fuck. I love that story. It's so good. Fucking melted. But anyway, yeah, so Peter Crouch is a funny cunt. He's been doing loads of like stories now, like talking about like his career and that. He's pretty good. You should check him out. But that's not the Peter we're talking about. We're talking about people for the ethical treatment of animals, right?
Oh, Peter, yeah.
Yeah, Peter, yeah. Now, obviously they're always ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they're for people who don't realize, because on the surface of it, you think, oh, PETA are good, because they're trying to get animal rights and that. And cruelty to animals is fucking shit, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I think everybody who's anybody, should have a fucking viewpoint that you shouldn't treat animals in an unethical fashion. It's hard, right? Because a lot of us are meat eaters, and we always have to reconcile that we don't like cruelty to animals, but we do fucking farming, right? Where, there's no way of dressing it up to get that fucking beef on your plate, to get that chicken on your lips. Something bad has to happen, right? And I've seen the videos, where it's like, I saw that that one video, right, where they show how they make nuggets or whatever. You get that you get that pink paste.
And shit.
Yeah, you get that pink paste that they use, and it's just the chicks. Yeah. They just take all the male chicks that can't lay eggs, and they just literally yellow fluffy chicks that you get on like the front of a fucking Easter egg, and they just throw them into a fucking grinder alive. And it's just blades, and and that's literally how they do it, right? So it's like, how do you reconcile that? Because that's horrible, right? But chicken nuggets are fucking great. So how do I?
Where were they making nuggets like that, though? But who the fuck does that? I feel like
unfortunately,
no, they don't do that now,
everyone.
but I've seen how McDonald's ones are made.
Mate, they
fucking jet wash chicken, but I've never seen a fucking chicken blood.
Yeah, but that pink goo or pink paste that they use in pretty much all chicken food, that's one of the principal ingredients, is the yellow fluffy little chicks, the male chicks, because they're of no worth to the farming system.
Bones?
You only need...
Getting bones in my nugs.
Well, look, I don't know how they take the bones out. I don't know what happens at stage 2. Don't know what happens after they've ground up the chicks.
Surely.
Yeah, they probably got. You're right. They've got a grinder, then into a deboner, and then into a nug maker, right?
3 steps.
Yeah, 3
grind,
steps. Right?
sieve, nug.
Yeah.
Straight in the oven. There's some nugs.
But and it's like I've seen, when they have the chickens and then to get chicken breasts, and they literally tie them up by their legs. And then they just come across, and it's just a blade here.
Fucking
and it's just,
hell.
Yeah, and it's just automated. It just goes zip, zip, and it cuts their throat and they bleed out because they're upside down. And this is always sold as being a humane way to kill chickens, right? You know, it's always because it's instantaneous because of the pressure. But the thing is, chickens, you know, I used to work killing chickens, so I know a thing or two about it, right? Chickens are stupid, but they definitely don't want to die, and they know if something's up. They know if other chickens are getting wrecked, right? So some of them will like move their head back, and they only get like a little cut, and it's and other times it'll come in at the wrong angle, and it'll like lop half the face off, and then and they're alive like when they go into the the thing that cuts off the breast meat and that. So it's factory farming is fucking rough. It's rough, but equally without factory farming, we don't have enough sources of protein to go around. And, and there's an environmental side. I'm sure everybody knows that the largest contributor to global warming isn't actually cars, it's cows. That's all that fucking farming cows and all the gases that creates. And the fact we have so many of them because it's a, cheap source of protein, for burgers and everything else. So there's loads of reasons why if you can not eat meat, okay, it's actually good. It's got loads of net good for it. And PETA, they push that message, so you're like, oh, they must be all right. They're also anti-fur, Now, again, it's not. I won't pretend it's something I feel really strongly about, but I think if you're killing an animal, aware it. I'd feel better if you killed that animal yourself, and again in a straight mano-y-mano competition. You know how I feel about it. If you want to wear,
yeah,
if you want to wear,
what if it's a mink? But so what? You stomped out a mink? I'm not impressed. What if someone where the minks live, Madagascar or something mental? What if someone just goes to Madagascar and stomping out minks?
Yeah, you stomped out a mink, right? And you skinned it yourself, and you did all that yourself.
Whoa! Why have I got to fucking skin him? You said just murder him. Now I got to take a knit blade to it.
Yeah.
What? Now I got to knit the scarf as well. I'm not.
If you want to wear
seamstress.
If you want to wear it, yeah.
Well, have you seen the size of a mink? I'm going to need at least 40 minks. I can't do all the skinning and cutting myself. You
got to fight them all at once then.
Oh, easy, but...
I know, yeah.
To cage them in, I'll fucking boot the fuck out of 100 mink. You keep them coming, I'll keep them murdering, mate.
But anyway, I'd say principally I'm against fur, I think it's like you're killing animals for decorations. It feels like a bit of a fucking, throwback. Like we don't need to do that anymore. And like animals are sentient creatures, killing an animal for food is one thing. Killing an animal for just decorative purposes is kind of lame. It sucks, right? So anyway, so PETA, they say some good things, but they've also done some fucking wild fucking things, and they should be rightly decried as being this like awful organization, and quite frankly a ridiculous organization now that to constantly get this agenda, this worthwhile discussion about animal cruelty and the ethical treatment of animals, they constantly now hijack other things and make things up. And on top of that, if I remember rightly, they also, it was revealed that they were doing these dog rescue things where they would like they were even going so far as to like break into people's gardens and take dogs and then put them in a pound. But then it turned out that PETA was euthanizing all of the dogs to combat the overpopulation problem, right? So it's like it's a well-established fact. You can go. I've actually got a report here if you want to just bring it up. It's Washington Post, so you might get paywalled. But this is like at the animal shelters for cats and dogs that PETA run. The vast majority of the animals they take in are euthanized, right? And they'd found employees or not employees, but rather volunteers for PETA were literally like going into people's gardens and taking dogs away and then euthanizing them, right? Like, well, because while the owners were like out there looking for their dogs. So they've been involved in loads of fucking crazy shit. Like they're not a fucking good organization. And you'll remember when we did that story. I mean this it was like a year ago now on the podcast, where they said, "Oh, drinking milk, it's a sign of white supremacy." You remember that, right? They put out a thing saying, "Oh, if you drink milk, you're a Nazi," and this is why. And it was all secretly coded in Quentin Tarantino's film *Inglourious Bastards*. You notice Christopher Waltz's character. He drinks milk in a lot of the scenes. He drinks milk in the opening scene, famously, where the Jews are hiding under the floorboards. So they tried to say, oh, it's all coded. It's all about Nazism and white supremacy. Well, they re-released that. It was like they're doing their greatest hits at the moment. And they re-released that. And it was reported by the Toronto Sun and a few other publications that they were basically saying again, just, every year, hey, cow's milk has long been a symbol used by white supremacists. Absolute fabrication. It's just complete nonsense. There was one like throwaway garbage article in the New York Times entitled "Why White Supremacists Are Chugging Milk and Why Geneticists Are Alarmed." There is like no basis for this.
Calcium's good too.
Yeah, I mean, like if milk has very often been pushed as a healthy drink, especially for growing children. It's absolute nonsense. So they started putting this out there, but there was another thing that they did, which I think is even more fucking absurd. Let me just find it. Here it is. Yes, they want to try and change words because they say our language is coded with violence towards animals, right? So if you look at their official PETA Twitter, this was literally just today as I was getting up. Right? Like, we'll do a show. Let's have a look, see what's out there. They put a tweet out saying, "Words matter, and as our understanding of social justice evolves, Lord help me, our language evolves along with it. Here's how to remove speciesism from your daily conversations." Now, I have to say, and this might I'm all for the ethical treatment of animals, but speciesism. Is there any way we can
understand this? By the way, I don't think they're going to be offended.
What? Are we? We're going to be offended?
The animals don't understand this, by the way. I don't think they're going to be offended. Like when you say "kill two birds with one stone."
Yeah.
Hear a seagull go.
What I'm trying to figure out is how do you break the speciesism paradigm? How do you how do you achieve social justice for cows?
Start crossbreeding it. Crossbreed.
We need the crossbreed. It's a very weird thing, like speciesism, because it's fundamentally impossible within human society to not believe that you are better than animals or to treat them differently to people. Like I honestly do not think we will ever transcend that particular barrier. But whatever. I mean, it's just a weird way of framing it, isn't it? Speciesism. I think it's impossible to not be speciesist. But yeah, they want to use these. They're saying the following phrases are anti-animal. Now we've said kill two birds with one stone. They propose feed two birds with one scone. Right? It does kind of mean the same thing.
No, because you'd expect to feed two birds with a scone. Scone's quite large for two birds, but
that's true.
That's the expected outcome of a scone. Whereas killing two birds with one stone is unexpected. So that don't fucking work.
As Doc J in the chat says, my nan's Doc J says my nan's scones would kill a bird.
Put anthrax in them. But
Why are you calling Doc J's nan a terrorist?
Fun, isn't it?
Right, sound. Reported to Twitch. Stream's over. Now we all know Twitch don't give a fuck, don't we? Be the guinea pig, right? Which obviously is like, oh, you're the guinea pig for this. It means you're the person who's
Test
gonna,
subject.
you're gonna be the test subject. They want to say be the test tube, which doesn't really work at all.
It's not the same. It's not
not the same,
is
is it? No, it's just not the same. Instead of beat a dead horse, which is another weird one. Like, who cares what you do to a dead horse, really?
Dead.
It's not that bad, is it? The point is that there's no point in beating it anymore. It's dead. It's not going to move. It's not going to change. It's not like we're not saying beat the horse until it dies. We are saying the horse is dead. It's silly to beat it, right? And they want to change that to feed a fed horse.
Yeah,
I don't know why
beating
they
a dead horse
felt...
means there's nothing that could happen. If you keep feeding a fed horse, you could kill it. So something could happen, or it could be sick.
End up with a dead horse.
Exactly, and then you've got to beat it, and then you're back to square one.
Yeah. I also like as well that they felt compelled to find words that kind of rhyme or para-rhyme. Yeah. Instead of bring home the bacon, bring home the bagels. I don't have as much of a problem with that one. I won't lie.
But if you creepy little losers, but and start changing words just to fit your shit lies, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it just means you bring it home.
Food.
I mean,
bring home sustenance.
If I remember rightly, because I used to have a copy of the Brewer's Dictionary of Phrase and Fable, which, by the way, should be an essential book that everyone owns. It tells you the etymology of like phrases, where the history of certain sayings and proverbs, where it all comes from, and it tells you the history. It's just a really interesting book. It's one of those books you can just dive into, pick a page, and there'll just be something interesting on that page, right? But if I remember rightly, bring home the bacon, the reason that they apply it to bringing home the bacon, because now it's typically used to mean earnings. I went out, I earned the money, I'm the breadwinner of the house.
I'm bacon bringer.
Yeah, well, because obviously bacon was considered like this, very luxury item.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm
That's also what chewing the fat comes from, mate. Because bacon was a sign of wealth. People used to hang it up in their house. When you come in, they invite you, say, "Do you want to chew some fat?" And they tear off a bit of bacon, and you chew it around it, and have a talk.
You got a copy of the Brewer's Dictionary of Phrase and Fable as well?
No, just fucking probably watch a lot of Countdown or something like QA. Who knows?
And then the last one: take the bull by the horns, take the flower by the thorns. I think that's the worst of all of them, because taking the flower by the thorns, first of all.
If you grab the flower by a thorn, you're just gonna prick your finger. Grabbing a bull by the horns means you're controlling it. You're just going in.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Take the flower by the thorn. That's just a terrible one. And then they followed it up with, just as it became unacceptable to use racist, homophobic, or ableist language, phrases that trivialize cruelty to animals will vanish as more people begin to appreciate animals for who they are and start bringing home the bagels instead of the bacon. So, and you can see, funnily enough, one of the top replies, Dankula in there. This tweet was so stupid, I'm about to fry all of this up and eat it.
Steak long. What even is that, man?
It's like that, isn't it? I thought it was like that square sausage,
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah. I don't know. Mate, let's be real about the Scots for just 2 seconds.
I know, it's fucking absolute
speaking as a fucking Celt, right? The Scots will eat anything. They will eat anything, mate. What kind of fucking
What's that, fried pizza? Fucking... anyone up north, to be fair, mate.
Put it this way. There's a reason, right? Why whenever they do like life expectancy by country, you get to the lower end here and it's all like, war-torn African countries, like, Liberia, getting hit with Ebola and fucking 30 years of civil war all at once. And the life expectancy down here is about 40. And then next to it is fucking Glasgow. Just on its own, like it is its own country. Not even the rest of Scotland, just Glasgow, just down there. People don't live long there. No, and it's not because they're getting stabbed up. It's because they deep fry everything, right? And haggis is fucking
Drink
outrageous.
iron brew
Who even thought it up?
only, but no water going down in a Scottish household.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, but it's true, isn't it? Like, yeah, didn't he drink the
Can
tap
of
water,
brew.
lass?
Can of brew.
Yeah, have a can of brew. Give me a can of brew. It's like it's just sugar painted orange and melted in a can, like Stephen Gerrard's favourite drink, of course. You can't just be drinking iron brew all the time. And haggis, like I'm even down with black pudding, which by the way, black pudding is a scab.
Pig's blood, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just eating a scab. You know when you get you graze your knee and all the blood and all the
I
goo
eat my
dries
scabs
up.
anyway,
And,
but
yeah,
put on my breakfast roast. Right?
you're out of control. You are. You're out of fucking control. What's wrong with your fucking head? Get back to fucking
Saving money on black pudding all night, boy. Saving money on black pudding.
To spend on trying to get the fucking Gary Lineker rare card in fucking FIFA. Yeah, sound. Anyway, yeah, it's like, you even thought of it? It's like, oh, so what are you doing? Right, so what we do is we take all the shit, right, like that comes out of an animal, and then we put it in the other shit that comes out of an animal, and we boil it. You don't even fry it or anything. We just boil it, and then we just eat it. I've never been on board with haggis. Like, I've had it. I don't like it. Not my favourite. I had it, but yeah.
What kind do you have that? Like meat mostly one, because there's different kinds in it.
Probably all shite.
Never had it.
Yeah, not for me. But yeah, fuck haggis, dude. Like I in a way, I do admire the Scots, like, because obviously no one really likes it, but they're just pretending because they have to, because it's part of their national identity. So I I've always had respect. Scots, Celts, all of us traditionally, I'm all about that. We're a warrior people, and sometimes we do shit that we all know it's bollocks. But you just have to do it. And that's what the Scots are doing with haggis. It's just they're gaslighting everyone into thinking it's all right. No one's enjoying it. Yeah, I've had me can of brew. I'm off to eat my haggis now. I'm off to eat the haggis. I like sounding. He's just there like choking it down. Hey, it's fucking bro. This is last. Brilliant. Everyone's having a good time. But anyway, yeah, so that's Dankula in there. I'll tell you one thing I'll say about Dankula. So he learned how to be a fucking influencer real quick, didn't he? He's everywhere. He's even in fucking UKIP.
Everyone is, it seems, mate.
Yeah, true. Like, so then there was that, right? But here's the thing, just to wrap up the PETA bit, right? They're so fucking clueless and tone deaf. Like, take the flower by the thorns is never gonna take off. Right, it wouldn't even take off if you worked in a florist's, right? It just isn't going to work, right? But even more embarrassing than that, they did this advertising campaign. You're not going to fucking believe this. And they put it out on their own blog. Another thing I hate about PETA, right? When they put their blog out, right, they make it look like it's a press release written by someone else and not them.
Man.
Come on, I'm on your website, mate. I know it's you. And I know you wrote this. It's on PETA.org, innit? But like, look, they talk about themselves in the third person in this headline. Don't miss PETA's. It's yours, innit? What do you mean? You are PETA. Anyway, don't miss PETA's cheeky new ads that warn drivers meat interrupts your sex life. Now, I don't even know what the fuck this means, but this is happening, in Georgia and Texas. I can sort it out
for you. Stop sleeping with a fucking cow in the bed, you mental cunt.
Yeah. But, like, what they're trying to imply is that if you eat meat, it clogs your arteries and it means that you can't fuck as good. You get erectile dysfunction or something. It's the classic, fucking hell, we've tried using science, and people are still eating meat. So what should we do now? Tell them their fucking dicks will go floppy. Funnily enough, that does work with a lot of men, actually. I will say that. Like,
fear of having...
Yeah, exactly. Fear of broke dick does fucking...
Yeah, but if you go vegan, then you end up with fucking snack boy, mate. Gonna be too far the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna be too fucking fragile. Gonna snap it.
And
off.
let me tell you, having a snack interrupts your sex life. Yeah. Having a snack definitely interrupts your sex life. You think that fucking thin neck cunt who was on that fucking... You know when he was on that bit on the merry-go-round? You can imagine someone, instead of grabbing the stick that goes through the horse, just accidentally grabbing his neck. Like, yeah, just yeeting him by accident.
Yaga.
If you're dropping Yaga on my fucking podcast. What the fuck is this?
Yaga.
I can tell you haven't been out your room for about a week. You talked like this to anyone in Port Talbot, mate. They'd be, are you alright? Are you pissed? Right.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm actually. Don't miss Peter's cheeky new ads that one's driving meat in your sex life. So what they conceptualized was this idea that meat, right, which comes from animals, dead animals, it'll stop you having sex, right? But here's the problem. They've accidentally made posters that make it look like couples are just straight fucking animals in mad, demented, satanic threesomes. Like, so there's the first one, right, with a cow between a man and a woman, right? This is the best one. This is the least ridiculous one, right? And you can see the woman's like, fucking hell. Yeah, there's a fucking cow in the bed. And the man's going, fucking hell, she won't fuck me in front of the cow. What's wrong with her? Right? Then you scroll down a little bit, right? This is just this is unacceptable. Right? A pig spooning a man.
She just looked up to the fucking roof. I want a divorce. What do I do in my life?
Right? A pig spooning a man. That's problematic for me.
I've seen this in the Simpsons movie. That pig ends up going huge in the end, man.
I thought you were going to say I saw it in an episode of Black Mirror. Right? And then
all over again, man.
You have two men in a bed, and clearly they're both just disgusted with themselves, having both took it in turns to reel that chicken.
Yeah, that one does.
Is there any other way to interpret what is happening in that picture? Like, if you took off the PETA and you took off the meat interrupts your sex life, and I just showed you that picture and said, what's happened here? You go, looks like two men have just fucking...
You definitely shouldn't remove the PETA logo, but it'd be better leave the PETA logo and remove the meat run.
They have just fucking spit roast that chicken and they ate themselves for it. Like, look at them how they're clutching their fucking groin, like, in shame.
Spit
like,
roast
oh,
and basted bit. Get it out.
I thought wrecking this chicken's beak was going to be fucking sound, but it weren't. And now I've got peck end.
Get him in the D-boner.
Oh, could we please make peck end bad case and the peck end? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, who fucking looked at these posters and said, this'll do it? I don't know, there's something off. I can't quite put my finger on it. You don't think people might think that they've been fucking these animals, given that there's a very sexually coded message? No. It's definitely, you know, I mean, even if you'd used plates of meat instead, like really gross over the top, like dripping meat, right? That would have been a more powerful message, and there would have been no bestiality overtones. That last one is fucking mental, Sam. That is like something you would find on fucking rotten.com in 1999. Shout out to all the 1999 rotten.com users in our audience. Not zero. Oh, wait, I've just seen what you're doing. You're making this way more satanic now, Sam. This is fucking way more satanic than it needs to be. You're going to get us in trouble, mate. You keep doing
I'm making them all the same species, mate.
Mate, yeah,
so
but
they ain't having a crossbreed anymore.
Yeah, but it looks like they're just wearing cows' heads, like in some satanic ritual. Mate, if you keep this up, I'm going to get a phone call from John Podesta.
I like your work. I want you in on a sacrifice.
I got 10 pigs coming in tomorrow. I want you to do something creative. Put them on spikes or some shit.
Sure. Keep it up. One day you'll be president. I want to find this as well. Just while we're here, because I saw a video of like Alex Jones, dressed up as Pepe. But I can't. Oh, did I? I was too scared to like it because there's this new feature, by the way, on Twitter now, where like likes for me, right? Likes for me. Like you start googling this while I'm talking, but you're gonna struggle because don't forget he was in a lawsuit with Pepe. But basically, this is the description of the video. It's Alex Jones writing lines that says the frogs are not gay while dressed up as Pepe the frog and pretending to cry. Right? If you can find that video,
say that again.
Oh, so people are saying it's on right. It's on his Instagram. I didn't even know Alex Jones was allowed on Instagram. I thought he was off the internet.
Drop a link.
Yeah, drop the link. You'll only get banned for 5 seconds.
I'll
oh fuck! I completely lost my fucking train of thought now. I'm just staring at pictures of Alex Jones dressed up as a fucking frog. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares what we were talking about?
Elevator by dressed up as gay. dailystormer.name. Is that a link I should be clicking? But
definitely not, mate.
Yeah,
no.
As soon as I saw that, that's not.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I got the picture.
Never click on that link.
You ain't even getting unbanned.
Like, why is Alex Jones done this though? Like, why? Does anyone know why he's done it? Like, yeah, just look at the state on it. Yeah, there's a picture. Well, he made a video anyway saying, "Can I be unbanned now, Jack? The frogs aren't gay," and he was like dressed up as a frog, like. So it just ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, that's what I was talking about, right? I was too scared to click on the like when I saw the video. Oh, there you go. Sandra's put the link to the video on. You can just play it if you want. But I was too scared to click on the Twitter link. I was too scared to click on the fucking click like on it, right? Because I've remembered where I was now. I use likes as bookmarking, right? Can I just do a quick survey with everyone in the chat, by the way? Right, do you use likes on Twitter to express whether you like something, okay, or do you use it to bookmark something, a tweet that you might want to keep, like, and go back to? So if it's a bookmark, just type bookmark.
Quite a lot of bookmarks, but.
And if it's not, say like, right? People are saying both, bookmark, a lot of likes coming in. Right, for me, it is only a bookmarking tool. And it has to be that way, right? Because think about this. Have you ever seen, like, I don't know, some tragic story? Like, I saw one on Twitter the other day. This is a bit dark, right? Just don't get triggered. Right, this is bad, though. Britain had its youngest ever suicide. Right? I was thinking about doing an episode of I Hate It. Like collating all these stories. Like some 9-year-old hung himself because he was getting bullied, and it was on the news, right? And it was on Twitter. Who likes that? Do you know what I mean? Like, but people were liking it, and then I was like, can I even like that tweet? Like, it's mind fucked me because what Twitter does now is. It puts when you like something, it's like you retweet it. It comes up in your feed. Richard Lewis is like this. And I get mentally ill people all the time going, what do you mean you like that? Why are you liking it? You didn't mean to like that. I'm just bookmarking it for later. Fucking hold your fucking phone. You know. And like, I wanted to talk about this story and about bullying and, do a bit about it and saying, like, how there's some fundamental fucking problems. Because there was also that video of that Syrian refugee kid. Did you see that one? Where it was like they'd already broke this kid's arm. He was a Syrian refugee and he was just getting beat up every day at school. And the school knew about it and did nothing until the video went viral, right? So I was going to do this whole bit, but I was too scared to fucking like it. But I don't want to say, I love 9-year-old. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has to be a bookmarking tool. It has to be. That's all it can be. Or you can never like anything bad on Twitter. You know what I mean? Am I losing? Am I the mentally ill one?
As if people are even fucking asked about what you're liking, but as if someone sees a part and like, I don't like this. Why have you liked it?
Mate, it is insane. I have had so many people doing that the last week. Just loads of people coming up to me, literally messaging me on coming up to me in a virtual sense on Twitter. Why did you like that tweet? Well, I do a podcast where I talk about absurd things I see on the internet for comedy purposes. Yeah, but by liking it, you're retweeting it. No, if I was retweeting it, I'd be retweeting it. Yeah, but it goes out on your feed, and people might not know, and then you're helping spread misinformation. Doing none of those things. A like is a tacit endorsement. Definitely isn't. And it's just they just bombard you with this shit. It's And then, of course, I'm not allowed to block. We all know that makes people mad. So what do you do? What do you do? But I have to have a Twitter, right? So, it's fucking mental. But anyway, yeah, so that was PETA basically producing posters that unwittingly depict bestiality to own the meat eaters. All right, you got us. Just before we get into something, Sam, I like to read books, right?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of books. And What a nerd. Books. Football stickers.
Fucking nerd, like it.
Yeah. Right, well, I used to read this magazine way back in the day called 40 Times. You ever heard of it?
Nope.
Right, so 40 Times was a publication that was made by a guy called Charles Fort. And what Charles Fort used to do was he would basically record paranormal activity and chronicle it and write about it. It's in a scholarly sense in this periodical, which became 40 Times, and it was a way to document everything that operated externally to science. And the magazine still exists today. You can still get 40 Times where it talks. It's the fucking UFO sightings, Bigfoot, all of that stuff. Well, anyway, the other thing they used to document was strange deaths, right? Weird deaths, just funny deaths. I mean, that sounds oxymoronic, but we all like the Darwin Awards. And I managed to track down. They collated a compendium of their deaths in 2 volumes. So I got this, the 40 Book of Strange Deaths, right? And I've got 2 volumes of it. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna pick one out, right? I mean, it's pretty bad because I've just opened the page and the first line is a young boy was eaten alive by pigs. Not that one. That's not funny, is it? That's not a funny one. PETA probably found it. Oh, there you go. This sounds pretty funny. This is in the chapter called "When Pets Go Bad." Right. A monkey that apparently tired of being forced to climb palm trees killed its owner with a well-aimed coconut. He's been domed by a monkey.
Now. Oh, how'd he launch that coconut? But
let's find out. Let's see if it tells you. Laylit Janchum, 48, died immediately when the nut struck him in the Thai province of Nakhon Sri Tamarat.
Never heard that part yet.
Yeah. It's next to Shatner's bassoon. Janchum received the equivalent of 4 pence for every coconut the monkey harvested from trees up to 50 meters high. He regularly beat the animal whenever it showed any reluctance to climb. The monkey seemed to find the work boring, strenuous, and unrewarding, according to the Samui Express newspaper. The victim's wife, Uthai, said they bought the monkey for £130. He seemed lovable, she said. We called him Brother Kwan. There you go. Nice story.
Mate, they haven't done the math on that, right? So 130 quid for the monkey, flat out. Plus you've got to feed him, but that's not even taken into the feed. You get him 4 pence a coconut, but... So how many fucking coconuts you got to get out of that monkey to even
Yeah,
get
well now,
returned,
yeah,
but
well that's but that's what I'm saying. Now you know why he found the work strenuous. He had that monkey up a tree all the
he
time,
must have
didn't
been
he?
doing 500 coconuts a day, and he must be
Yeah.
living off coconuts because you ain't making money.
What I love about it is it shows the evolutionary aspect, right? Where this monkey was getting worked, and he got to a point where not only was he so pissed off, he knew he wanted to kill his boss, but he also figured out that if I throw a coconut at his head hard enough, that'll do the job. You know,
I wonder
they're
if
clever.
he threw
Them
a
monkeys.
couple more, but because did anyone see it or did they just? That's the thing. Was there someone with him? They witnessed it, or did they just go there, see a man? He's got a coconut inflicted wound. There's a monkey over there eating coconuts with a smug look on his face. He's taking all the pennies out of the guy's hand. I think I've got this one solved.
Um,
Out
Right,
there
what about-
CCTV amongst the fucking coconut trees, bud.
right. Well, okay. This is in the chapter called "Oops."
Good start.
Right? How about this? George Kafatos, a customer in a crowded Athens restaurant, was killed by a flying lamb chop when an oven exploded. 5 others were hurt. Short and sweet, that one. He's had a lamb chop to the head.
I guess the bone's gone straight through his brain or something, but fuck knows what's
Yeah.
happened to him.
2 hapless Chinese thieves gassed themselves to death with cyanide,
Fuck
along
no.
with their 5 intended victims, while trying to rob a gambling den in the city of Rushang in June 2005. One of the 3 passed out for several hours from the effects of the gas, but upon waking still remembered to rob the dead of 15,000 yuan, or is it yuan or yuan? I don't know. 5 mobile phones and a gold necklace when he came around. It's a bit fucking raw, that, innit? We'll just pump all
Yeah.
this. Like, why not use sleeping gas?
I know.
Why cyanide
Well, the
gas?
good old-fashioned guns and intimidation as well, but if we're gonna go in, like, fucking hell, as if you're just straight cyanide in these cunts. Also, 15,000 yuan doesn't sound like that much. Not huge in the conversion rate, but I feel like it's definitely not 1-to-1, is it? So the worst it could be is like fucking 2 grand.
Let's have a look. This is called oh no, they've got a whole chapter on fish. It's called Fatal Fish. How often can that happen? Like,
I wonder if they're
let's see.
regular fish. I know I've heard of a few people dying from knowing the fish jump out the water, but get slapped in the head. But
yeah, there was one of them on. I mean, this isn't even funny. This is just like sad. Like somebody did a skydiving jump to conquer their fear of heights and just got wiped out by a plane. That was like. You're laughing about that
for a reason, boy.
Yeah, it's like this will
I'll
kill your
teach
fear
you
of
not
heights.
to listen to your fucking instincts.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Like, oh, here you go. This is where we'll end it. We'll get back to the show. This is mental, mate. This is the type of thing that would happen to you. This would. A superstitious man who refused to leave his home on Friday the 13th died in his kitchen after he was stung by a rare breed of wasp. Florin Karku, no relation, a blessing. 54 was making coffee when he was stung at his home in Cluj, central Romania. His boss, Georgi Domza, said he took the day off because he was scared of something bad happening. Right. By a wasp. Now, talking about strange deaths, there was nearly this one. I couldn't believe this. This was in the... Like, if you've ever thought that teachers are fucking all, you know, that you can trust them with your kids. Maybe think again, right? This story is mental. I'll put it in. It's not in the doc for you. Oh yeah, it is actually. It's below the PETA bit. Right. I don't even know how you get this fucking mixed up. But this was the headline that a teaching assistant accidentally served preschoolers Pine-Sol instead of apple juice. Now, if you don't know what Pine-Sol is is it's a cleaning detergent made by Clorox, and
Sick.
it's used to clean like industrial types of stains to clean up wood, you know.
Yeah.
And it smells like you would imagine, right? So you can bring up the Wikipedia page if you want to have a look at it. Pine-Sol. It is a similar color to apple juice. I'll give you that. But because it contains, alcohol, right? Isopropyl, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably would notice the smell. Right? This is in Honolulu. So yeah, and it is the thing, right? In the quote on the incident, it says here, the classroom teacher later smelled that the liquid wasn't apple juice and stopped students from drinking it, inspectors said in their report. But then listen to this next quote, right? This was an official statement put out by the school, right? Only sips were taken. Only sips were taken before the lead teacher
Merely
realized the
sips
liquid.
of poison.
Yeah, exactly. Like only sips of fatal liquid were taken. Right? The staff responded immediately by calling emergency services and police. The children's parents were immediately notified as well. Only sips. It's all right. Yeah, just have this thing. It'll kill you. Just have a sip.
On the plus side, they
Fucking
thought had a
hell.
lovely varnish.
Yeah. Those yeah, when they got their real apple juice, it just slid down.
Yeah, exactly. Smooth as fuck.
Yeah. Right in their melted neck holes. Unreal, isn't it? Fucking just get a grip. The thing is as well, right? Just to fucking compound how absurd this is. She took the Pine-Sol off like a trolley that was stored in
Yeah, she's out of poison, but
yeah,
she's out of poison.
yeah. It just didn't have any food on it. You couldn't have mistook it for the ones in the kitchen cabinets. Apparently, she just went, "Oh, this must be the apple juice I get," and just fucking poured it out. There you
Smells
go,
like paint
kids.
thinner. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this is like some Jim Jones shit, isn't it? I'm going to the mothership today, kids. They're here. Drink the Pine-Sol in your apple juice. Get down here. That's fucking mental. Unacceptable. Right. And then to wrap up the show. Oh, well, actually, we'll do this bit first. Obviously, we all know that there's large swathes of the media that are just fucking deranged and just basically in the same way that, there's that famous story in there about how, like, a lot of ancient Rome went mad because they had, like, fucking, lead pipes for their water supply. There was lead in the water and it was all, like, fucking people up. In the same way that's going on, there's certain websites that literally are pumping insanity juice into the fucking social media water supply. They just, Vox, Mike, fortunately now defunct Slate, and of course Vice. Vice is a big one. And they wrote an article about No Nut November, right? I'll ask you, Sam, did you partake in No Nut November?
Nah.
Mate, I couldn't make fucking No Nut November the 1st, honestly.
Why bother, mate?
Yeah, well, no, listen. In the same way, like, there's probably some, if you fast, there's health benefits to it if you, like, periodically, like, don't eat for a couple of days.
Yeah,
or whatever.
but the digestive system isn't the same as Tesco's, but know what I mean?
Well, I'm no doctor, but I will agree with you. But yeah, like a bit of abstinence, it can't be bad for you. I got no problem with fucking No Nut November, right? But it's just not for me. I couldn't get out of fucking bed if I can't.
That's my only thing to do, but I have fucking nothing to do during the day if I can't have a wank. I'd be fucking out trouble.
Yeah, it's just like I've got a set routine now, and I'm really proud of myself because when I was 20, my routine was get up, cup of tea. Well, no, it was wake up, wank, cup of tea, have a joint, right? Then when I was about 22, it was wake up, wank, have a line or an upper of some sort, then a joint, then a cup of tea, then drink all day. And then I grew out of that at about 24, 25. And then it was wank, cup of tea, go to work, coke in the evening. All right? Well, now my routine is just wake up, wank, cup of coffee. Right? But you will notice there's been an ever-present. Wanking. Wanking. It's got, like, I need to get up, mate. Like, how do I get up without that fucking hit of fucking, endorphins,
Dopamine.
like straight
Good.
dopamine, straight to the brain. That's where I'm at. I have a jet, have a shower, have a cup of coffee, ready for the day. That's it. Like, don't need no joint, don't need no drugs, but take away the jet, unacceptable, right? So this idea of No Nut November, it just don't work for me. If you want to do it, have at it, right? But I wouldn't even fucking, I wouldn't even go no nut, pick one. Well, more you come into my stream asking me to pick colour, right? If this is for artifact, take fucking red. There you go. But I'm trying to talk about wanking here more. Fucking hell. Interrupting my wank talk. But anyway, yeah. So, No Nut November, I think it's a bit silly, right?
Fucking not next time.
Oh, I'm screwing up, man. I think it's a bit silly. But certainly, I don't think it comes from anywhere sinister, right? It's just one of those internet things, isn't it?
Yeah.
People just like set little funny challenges for themselves. Well, according to Motherboard,
Here
right?
we go.
Now, here we go. There is a connection between No Nut November and, wait for it, fascism.
Sound.
Because only fascists would want to, maybe abstain and not jerk off, right?
Mo just donated 100 by the way and said it hit red. Wank, wank, wank. So I guess it was a casino-related roll, mate.
Oh, there you go. Did it actually hit red? See,
Yeah, that's what he said.
I am the fucking oracle, mate. So yeah, let this be, in an article called "Let This Be the Last No Nut November," right? They wrote an article basically saying that apparently people who peddled the idea of doing No Nut November had ties to fascism and want to kill pornographers, right? Now,
Sorry.
okay. Yeah, now here's the thing. I understand where they get the kill pornographers from. Because X-Hamster, now you know X-Hamster, right?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah,
Of their work.
I will say this. I think that's a PETA-owned fucking porn website, right? But X-Hamster, been there because they're a little bit, how should we say, looser with copyright. So you can get some videos on that website you don't get on, Pornhub, which have partnerships with certain companies and performance artists, shall we say. So X-Hamster, but it's a bit grimy, it's a bit ghetto. I think if you're the classy wanker, Pornhub is where it's at.
Yeah.
For me.
Best selection of HD material, man.
Like, it's like, when you have back when it was magazines, it would go like, I don't know, Club International, Fiesta, Escort, for example. And, and if you were a dirty wanker, you were doing it to Escort. If you were a classy wanker. Yeah. And if you were a classy wanker, you'd be doing it to Club International, right? X-Hamster's in the middle, I think. It's like, it's okay. It's not like fucking RedTube.
RedTube's old school, but...
Yeah, but it's kind of gross.
Is it?
I think so,
back
yeah.
in my day, man. That was like the first porn site because it went from YouTube to RedTube, but then new porn. It all stemmed from YouTube, mate.
Yeah, for me, I think it's Pornhub now. classy.
Yeah.
So anyway, they put out a tweet saying to all the no fappers this year, we're bringing it. And they tried to reclaim No Nut November with Nut November, and they used a bunch of hashtags. Nut November, yes fap, and porn is good for you. Refuse to let anti-sex killjoys like fight the new drug and all this stuff, and no porn November win with bad science. All hands on deck and balls, right? And then somebody replied with like, because that is like hyperbolic, and in these days, no matter what company you are, even if you are just a website people go to fucking rub one out, it seems that you have to have a social media presence and you have to have a social media manager and like somebody who conceptualizes how can we get attention today. It's like, I'm so sick, by the way, of the cunts who run Wendy's and McDonald's and Burger King's Twitter feed, all sniping at each other, like, and everyone's going, oh, doing that fucking meme. The guy doing that double edge. Wendy's just mugged Burger King. Wendy's just mugged Burger King. Like, you don't understand that. First of all, if you go far enough up the fucking food chain, they're probably all owned by the same fucking company. Second of all, it's just advertising. You daft cunts.
Yeah,
like,
you organised it through email for weeks beforehand. Like, how can we best execute upon these retards on Twitter? I think if you start off with a GIF, I will respond with a Vine meme. You will then follow up with a poem.
Exactly.
Maybe some sort of haiku.
Yeah, I believe that Vine, yeah, exactly, like, this focus group told us that when we engage in fake rap battles, like, fucking get me out, like, you know what I mean? And, like, people eat this shit up, right? So, obviously, even porn websites are doing this now. I mean, like, again, because people police your fucking Twitter likes and everything else, people police people I follow. I've had people message me going, you dirty bastard, because I follow like Riley Reid. She's sound.
You follow way more fucking creepy shit than Riley Reid, but as if that's all they've been judged for.
Well, maybe we save that for when you blackmail me.
What do you mean? You follow him, but
yeah.
I haven't got
you're
a
going to blackmail
specific
me
one in mind, but I'm sure there's some moment. What's that guy we talked about loads of times? But that panda guy posts more wild shit than Riley Reid.
Oh, mate, you're bringing up fucking Loping again. He's sound.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But he probably posts wilder shit than Riley Reid.
No, but actually, is the thing though. He doesn't fucking actually post it. He just retweets it. Like,
all right.
Yeah, he just retweets. But yeah, Riley Reid's fun.
You know, that's right. I bet she ain't getting fucking naked on her Twitter all the time. She does that for a job.
She is
the
like.
Opposite. All right, bit of both.
She's always, yeah. She's always
always working.
Like, yeah, exactly. She appreciates the hustle, like, you know. But she's you know, she also posts out funny things. Like, she did that rap video, which everyone talks about. You should check that out.
I'm alright.
Right? Yeah. No, she's got clothes
I
on.
prefer other work.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, she's good at everything. She's very talented and very funny.
When you marry her, and she's very talented and very funny. She's also beautiful.
Yeah, she is like, but yeah, I think the main reason is because she would find me physically repulsive. I think that might be a little hinder to a blossoming relationship otherwise. But anyway, let's just grow up, mate. So let's get back to this. We're talking about NoFap November. So X Hamster put that out, right? And obviously that's like hyperbolic and a bit silly, isn't it? So naturally, people replied to that tweet with hyperbolic and silly things. And if you look at this, they made this thing where it's like fake propaganda posters.
Fucking hell.
Right? Like,
this is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you. This is weird. Like, I can't even believe anyone would make posters like this.
They're the anti-Semitic vibes from these as well, but I don't know why. Maybe the way they're drawn and shit. Yeah,
it does. I think it's deliberately evocative of Nazi propaganda.
Yeah.
Right. But again, that embedded into that is the humor. It's like semiology, right? You're supposed to look at this and this is like state propaganda. Like, you know, it's meant to have that vibe, right?
Yeah.
And you can see, look, porn undermines marriage and wrecks homes. Pornographers must die. Support capital punishment for pornographers, right?
Reasonable.
Yeah, and then somebody just replied with death to pornographers. Now, understand that in no way was this like a sort of mass movement. Like, there were a few people who took this, and needless to say, it came from 4chan originally, I believe. And this was at the last November. So these images that this person tweeted at
okay, I get it.
Yeah, they took these from last year. 4chan made these, and then they just put them out again.
Just
and then
it's just banned.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, hey, look, 4chan has been responsible for doing more successful psyops and psychological experimentation on the media-savvy Western world than any other entity, which is why, it's why people think that is a white supremacist symbol. That's been screenshotted, of course. When it clearly isn't. And, they did Operation OKKK, it was called. And now people believe it. You see legitimate news outlets like The Guardian saying this is linked to white supremacy. Yes, by people who wanted to make you think it was. And nobody else, by the way.
In my world, if you do that, then you get a dig in the arm if you look at it. But that's right, I wasn't there before.
Yeah.
You just got about 800 people with that one, but you're all over the dig.
So doing a big, deep investigation, they went and interviewed a moderator from the official No Nut November subreddit who said, it was just jokes. and obviously it is, right? And then because of the anti-Semitic vibe that you picked up on, nofap.com put out a tweet saying, that's anti-Semitic bigotry. So now the window's open, and basically, this fucking Vice article links like not wanking to fascism and how you got to retain your fucking semen and your manliness, and how in 1993, which, put it this way, the people who came up with NoFap November definitely have not read Wilhelm Reich. There's no fucking way, right? This is the psychiatrist Wilhelm Reich, who in 1933 in the mass wanted to talk about why authoritarian systems keep happening, and he said that you have to have sexual repression as a part of it. He said the formation of the authoritarian structure takes place through the anchoring of sexual inhibition and anxiety. You will also know November gets linked to the incel movement as well, right? The word incel, now not just meaning you're involuntary celibate because you're ugly or whatever and you can't get laid. Now it means not only are you involuntary celibate, you are also a misogynist and now a terrorist. I've seen it used the terrorist incel organization. It's just a bunch of fucking lonely, stupid guys fucking talking about how they fucking hate women with other fucking lonely guys about how they hate women just because they can't get laid. Which must have been going on for time immemorial. We just didn't have fucking internet forums for it. They're not fucking terrorists. They're just fucking losers. So I don't know. But anyway.
Thanks to the internet, they've been able to find more like-minded losers and find a little group for themselves.
Then she links it to the fucking Proud Boys, right? Which, of course, is, wrongly labeled a fascist movement, which it isn't. It's certainly an organization that isn't without its issues, and Gavin McInnes has said some unbelievably stupid stuff. He fell into the Milo trap, which is you can't constantly say stuff like when you want to be taken seriously and then say extreme stuff and say, that's a joke. And it's like, no, you have to be taken seriously. And then you said stuff at the same time on the same platform, you have to be taken seriously. So it's all going to be weighted equally. Unfortunately, that's how it works. You either are a serious social commentator or you're the comedic goof who sticks things up his arse and calls for violence. Never the twain shall meet. Unfortunately, they never realize that until it's too late and they get destroyed by the media machine. That's happened to Gavin McInnes now. But whatever, it's his own fault, But yeah, and then they link it to the KKK, saying that David Duke's stance on masturbation was that it was Jewish behavior. Right? It was a Jewish conspiracy. That's what David... So it's like, listen, I am pretty sure that the average person who tweets about, doing No Nut November, guys, 4 days in, pretty sure they don't know that a fucking former Grand Wizard of the KKK or an active Grand Wizard of the KKK, I don't keep up with David Duke, what he's doing, believes that masturbation is a Jewish conspiracy. I'm pretty sure, you can't just... Right. There's this thing where people's ideas intersect, right? Because you can only have so many ideas, right? So just because a group of people over here have said this thing, this idea about this thing, and these people have an idea which is remotely distinct, and there's a tiny bit of overlap at the fringes, like, for example, No Nut November philosophers. We believe there's that okay symbol again. I'll do that. No Nut November philosophers are just talking about let's not masturbate in that. Right, because we'll be better for it. It proves mental fortitude, mental willpower. It's a test. Let's do it, yeah. And some at the more extreme edges probably think actually, yeah, masturbation does make you weak. I've seen this peddled by a lot of like pickup artists. I think Mike Cernovich has said it in the past for his Gorilla Mindset book, where he says oh, you should never masturbate because it's like deferred gratification encourages you to get your goals, right? And then you have the KKK and racist groups, and some of them decided to address masturbation and gone, yeah, masturbation makes you weak actually, and it intersects there. And then
the Jews make you jerk off.
Yeah. And then
Jews make me do it.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, the two circles don't intersect that far in. And then when you get to the other end of the KKK, about white supremacy and all that, these two circles remain distinct. There is this tiny little bit of overlap at the outliers. But unfortunately, that the way the media works now, if there's any overlap between innocent group and completely negative group, these guys become it's guilt by association all of the time. This article is just a great example of that. Like, what is basically like a rolling joke. It's just a joke. It's just it's just something to liven up our drab and dreary existences. Hey, why don't we all challenge each other not to jerk off? Beats fucking dying. That becomes fascist inherently, because if you dig through the annals of history, going back as far as 1933, you can find people who spoke out about masturbation too. People that these guys who just want to have fun and fucking pretend they're not jerking off for the purposes of getting Twitter clout. They don't know anything about any of that, nor do they care to. And I'm also sick and tired of fucking journalists taking stuff from 4chan and then holding it up and going, look what the entire internet 4chan have played you like fools for fucking how many years now? For as long as I've known about the 4chan has been making the media look fucking stupid. And they still haven't clocked onto it. They still take stuff from 4chan. They never even do like a little bit of cursory research. Where did this image come from? Oh, it originates on 4chan. Guess I'm being played for a full next story. They never fucking do it. It's just insane. So yeah, No Nut November and its ties to fascism. All of you guys out there thought you would just, I'll not nut for a bit. That'll be funny. You're Nazis now. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're hammer and sickle, mate. Yeah,
Nazis now. Hammer and sickle's communist.
No, I know, but they're commies as well, mate. Fascism.
Oh, commie Nazis.
They're fucking the worst, but they've got a crossbreed.
Crossbreed. Right. So anyway, let's just wrap up the show with the battle against sexism. Right. Is my view on sexism, mate. Don't like it. Don't like it. I recognize that there are I know this is a controversial statement in this day and age. I recognize that we're a dimorphic species and there are differences between men and women, and they can manifest themselves in psychological trends and more obviously in physical differences. As a rule, doesn't mean a woman can't be as physically strong as a man, because they can be, but it's typically an outlier where that happens. And I know fucking James Damore got fired for saying stuff like this, so I'm probably on massively thin ice. But I think if you ever get to a point where you can't say, look at all this data we have that shows distinct trends between the genders, if you have to ignore that in the interests of some sort of, true equality is ignoring all differences at all times. I don't like that society. That kind of feels like something Huxley would have written about. But I'll say this: I think equality in societal terms people having same opportunities, not being discriminated against. Of course, that is an entirely, desirable place for us to be as a society. It's absolutely worth fighting for. It's something that you should fight for. It's something that you should call out. If ever you see somebody mistreating somebody on the basis of race, sexuality, gender, you should absolutely take the stand. Of course you should. But I do think that sometimes people have lost sight of what sexism is, and a lot of times I see these kind of really pathetic battles that don't need to be fought, and it's on the basis of, we're fighting sexism. It's like, no, you're not. You're definitely not. And in fact, most women don't agree with your stance, or, most feminists, because obviously you get male feminists. All right? They don't agree with your stance. Right. So it is something I saw. Marks and Spencer's, this is on the BBC. They were advertising knickers, right? Knickers, that's underwear for women. So you would imagine that these are designed by women, for women. Maybe hard for some people to believe. I've been around women. I know women. I've heard women talk about, wanting to have, nice underwear in the same way that, guys want to have nice underwear. Generally, when you have nice underwear, you do it for you, sure, but it's also nice to look nice if you're in a state of undress around a prospective sexual partner or someone you live with. I don't see the problem here. Their advertisement was, here are our must-have fancy little knickers, right? And it's like, sure, I've heard women use phrases like that. Fancy underwear, right? What could possibly be sexist about it? Well, people saw this in the shop window and decided that it was sexist. And this is in Nottingham. And this is what I mean about the tiny little silly fight. Like, this isn't oppressing anyone. This is actually about female choice in a way. And if you're saying you can't advertise like that, articles of clothing designed by women for women, that's oppressive to say, well, you can't use that language because this very small subsection of women, don't like it. So if you don't like it, you just don't buy the product and you just get on with your fucking day, right? But you can see here, feminists have described a Marks & Spencer's window display that suggests women must have fancy little knickers sexist and vomit-inducing. A campaigner altered the window so that it read full human rights. So it said must have fancy little full human rights. Then they seemed less outraged about men must have outfits must have outfits to impress, as if affluence and dressing well, which is always pushed as always wear a suit to an interview, always wear a suit to a court appearance, don't look scruffy, dress to impress, right? You have that rammed down your fucking throat. No one cares. But yeah, look, in a Facebook group called Feminist Friends, okay, Marks & Spencer's Nottingham, have we really not learned anything in the last 35 years? Or am I alone in finding their major window display completely vomit-inducing? She then spoke to the BBC, because this is huge news, Sam, it's huge news. And she said the display had incensed her for two reasons. She said, I think Marks & Spencer's using the slogan must have over Christmas fripperies, a great word, by the way, I'll give her that, I love the is very distasteful when true necessities are lacking for many working and non-working people. The true necessities being warmth, shelter, and food. Well, sounds like you're angry with consumerism there in general. I might even be on board with you on that particular stance. But I don't know if you've noticed, Christmas and consumerism now are inextricably linked. That's a fight for another time, and it's about so much more than this window here. And then this is the kicker. I also feel very, very strongly about the representation of women as being preoccupied with fancy little knickers. Doesn't imply that at all. Whereas men are presented as powerful and needing to be impressive. I mean, seemingly, not understanding that that is in itself if one is a form of oppressive thought by forcing somebody to have to do a type of behavior, then the other is equally so, right? But no, that didn't work. I don't have a problem with people choosing to wear whatever they want. Clearly you do. I just feel like the juxtaposition is what's grossly offensive. We're surrounded by sexual images of both men and women. Marks and Spencer are not by any means the only offenders, but that particular window epitomizes everything that's wrong with marketing and how far backwards we've gone. Definitely haven't gone backwards, which is why this is being written about on the BBC. To me, this isn't an issue, but they also overlooked the fact, if you scroll right down to the bottom, they also used the must-have outfits to impress 4 women as well, completely rendering the complaint pointless from start to finish. And it's almost as if there is this kind of, I don't know what you call them, like curtain twitching, Jobsworths, you know what I mean? There's a type of person out there that just wants to get fucking all up in your fucking grill, like just all fucking, for no particular reason, like just got nothing better to do with their time. And that's basically what the modern kind of, a lot of this modern feminist pushback kind of has become. And I think it's really, really sad. You can only talk about why the pay gap isn't real so many fucking times. And it's like in that vacuum, people get embroiled in stupid, frivolous shit like this. Take, for example, here's another unbelievable story. Kleenex, Sam. Kleenex tissues, while we were just talking about No Nut November. Obviously, sales of Kleenex go up in December. Everyone starts nutting again. Dirty little fascists that they are. Well, I don't know if you saw this. It was in the middle of October.
Oh, yeah.
The word, the word man size, right? Now, the word man has got the word man in it, but it's not gender specific. If you go and look it up in a dictionary, man size just means a large object, man size. In the same way that the word human has the word man in it, but if you're a woman, you're a human. I mean, woman has the word man in it. Yeah, woman, right? The word man doesn't. It's not having the word man in a word doesn't make it gender specific. But Kleenex do these really big tissues. So again, in December, when you nut a lot, and it's big nuts that you've been holding it in, you need a man-sized tissue to clean it all up, right? So Kleenex man-sized tissues, that was their specific branding. Well, people got upset about it, and there was this unbelievable tweet, which I thought was a fucking lie. I thought it was a satire. But it isn't. It was genuine because it's a classic didn't happen. You can see here, Lisa Hancock's. Hi, Kleenex. My 4-year-old son. It's the rise of the woke kids, mate. You got two groups, right, that have risen up at the end of 2018, right? You got the fucking woke kids and the Vincels, right? The Vincels are rising up. The woke kids are rising up. My 4-year-old son asked me what was. Then he asked, why are they called man size? Can girls, boys, and mummies use them? I said, I don't know. And yes, of course. He suggests you should call them very large tissues. It is current year. Ridiculous, right? So Kleenex have said they're going to make some changes. We're just going to get rid of the word man. And it's like, all right. I mean, it doesn't bother me either way, right? Like, I don't call it. Just seems like a weird. Like, first of all, I've said this a million times. No corporation cares. They do not care. They talk a lot about how they care, but they actually don't care. Corporations care about cash. They care about profit. And this is just a way to avert a potential boycott. They don't give a fuck about Lisa Hancock's fake 4-year-old son. But yeah, let's just do it. Fuck it. Let's do it. We'll just do what the lady on the internet says, because it's better that way. It's quieter, right? So there you go. So now they're now going to be labeled extra large instead. And I just think like the energy that it sort of takes to get up in arms about this, there's definite causes that you can be fighting for. I mean, if you need to channel that energy, You know, first of all, there's actual gender inequality in certain parts of the world that would love to have your voice, your signal boosting, your effort, your energy, your money, your time. This isn't one of them. The word man size on a box is not oppressing women. You know, get involved in those, but no one ever does, right? Like it's always this relative outrage. It's like, I was shopping in my very last life and I saw something and I lack any ideals and principles myself, so I even had to pretend my child was outraged by, like, fuck me, like, what kind of person is this, you know? Like, Jesus Christ, like, it's just icky. This is like the fucking shit that people always know. What about this one? Waitrose, right? Waitrose. They had to rename a sandwich, right? Which the Independent, they do this thing called iNews. It's like a news digest, right? Waitrose has promised to rename its gentleman sandwich after sexism complaints. And now you're gonna go, come on, Richard, mate. You can't call a sandwich a gentleman sandwich. You're saying gentlemen are the only people who are allowed to eat this sandwich. Right? And this was made by Heston Blumenthal. You know, that mad cunt who, instead of cooking food, he like, oh, I've turned a cake into a volcano.
Yeah.
Just cook the food, you bald prick. Or whatever, right? Here's the problem. It's not called a gentleman sandwich because only gentlemen can eat it. It's called a gentleman sandwich because it's made with something called gentleman's relish. Gentleman's relish, I know that's a great No Nut November joke, right? But a gentleman's relish is made with anchovies and butter and herbs and stuff. And it's called gentleman's relish. It's existed since apparently 1828, right? And you can't call it gentleman's relish anymore. Can't call it. It's not. You got to get rid of it because, again, it's got the word gentleman in it, so it's exclusive in some way. Yeah, and again, it was all done off the back of a tweet, right? This fucking hashtag activism bullshit. I never knew sandwiches were gender specific. I'm female, but thankfully Waitrose let me purchase this anyway. It's like, listen, you verified fucking person. Right, you important person, because you got a blue tick next to your name. I don't know if you have read, Amnesty International, their newsletter recently. Women are being stoned to death in countries, for nothing. Women are being killed for witchcraft in countries, and because of more restrictive types of government and rules about amnesty. People are having a hard time getting asylum to get away from things like that. That's not even being recognized as a problem, right? And yet, you have decided today not to tweet about any of that. You're tweeting about a type of anchovy paste that was made in 1828 and just arbitrarily given the word gentleman's relish, because if you call it gross mashed up fish and butter and that, people don't want to fucking eat it. Like, that is the battle. That is the battle of the modern Western feminist. And I think I see things like this and I just think, God, we're all so fucking spoiled, aren't we? We just fucking live in such a fucking perfect little society. Like, we have to invent shit to be fucking upset about. We have to invent the oppressive forces in our life. Because actually, we're not really interested in helping our fellow man all the way over there, as much as we pretend and we profess that we are. We're just interested in the day-to-day and how it affects me. And I saw a sandwich with a word in it that I didn't like. So let's. Well, you're going to go on a march about it, are you? Nah, I'm going to go on Twitter, I think, mate. Well, you're not even going to march over this with a sign and that. You're not going to go outside the headquarters. You're not going to write a letter. Nah, I'll just put a tweet out and hope it goes viral, right? It's like, please, like, this doesn't help. It just makes us all look ridiculous. What about this, mate? Right? Who could be outraged about an Aldi car park? I was conceived in an Aldi car park. Weren't I? It's sacred ground to me, right? Who could be upset about this? So it's a dad, a male feminist. He saw a sign on the pavement, right, that showed a woman holding a child's hand to denote, keep your kids close because there's cars around. It is a sign that is designed to create awareness to prevent kids dying. I don't like it when kids die, Sam. I like kids as a rule. Not on planes.
Yeah.
Never on planes. Right? And I never blame the kid. Sometimes. But rarely. Right? Just don't come on my plane, but it's your parents' fault for bringing you on a plane. You don't understand what a plane is. You don't know why your ears are popping. You don't know why it's loud. You don't know why everything's shaking and how close we come to death every time we fucking get on one. You don't know about any of that. You're just having a cry. It's all confusing. I don't dislike the kid. You as a parent, you made a choice. You're never going on a plane again now, not until that kid's all grown up and can sit and not fucking bawl its eyes out on a transatlantic flight. They're the rules. They're my rules. That's what I would impose if I was in charge of the world. Parents can't go on planes till their kids hit a certain age. That's it. Reasonable. This sign is stopping kids getting fucking killed. This man got upset that it's someone in a dress holding the kid's hand. He says that. Why is the woman holding the kid? Who says it's a woman? Checkmate. Can't men wear dresses? Think you want to have a look at your stereotypical thinking, son. But he got in touch with a newspaper and said, does this mean, Aldi, you're expecting only women and mothers to go shopping? Should fathers and men have to park elsewhere? No. They are happy with the child having no obvious gender. I wanted to highlight this issue as it's a little frustrated in current year. It seems that the onus is still on women that they must raise the family and manage, which is unfair. Yes, because this bit of paint on a fucking on the ground, this bit of paint on concrete is really why we have segregated gender roles in Western society. I guess it's more of an unconscious bias that we have in us, and we are all guilty at various times. It was just something that irritated me. Mate, lots of things irritate me. I don't fucking write to papers about it. What you doing? What you doing with your time? It's unbelievable, isn't it? And these are the things that we get upset about. I bet if I asked this cunt, right, about like some fucking real shit that was going down, like some real bad stuff. Okay, what was the name? Oh god, I'll find it. Cause I don't know if you saw this, right? But it just shows how bad the fucking British government is, right? So do you know about Asia Bibi, right? She was a Pakistani Christian who got accused of blasphemy by the government. She was put in jail for 8 years. She was on death row, and then via a very long drawn process, a series of negotiations, she was released, right? And now people were marching in the streets to kill this woman. Literally, hundreds of people marching in the streets to kill this woman. And Britain didn't want to give her asylum, right? And again, the world would melt if Trump had done this. And Trump should grant her asylum, by the way. It would just be an easy fucking win. But Britain wouldn't grant her asylum because they're scared that there might be violent reprisals in Britain if people got upset about it. So we are literally just going to leave this woman, you know, on the run, trying to hide from people who, like, literal groups who want to kill her, right? So do you think this cunt who stood staring at Aldi fucking car parks all fucking, do you think he knows anything about this? You think if it could even enter into his fucking brain? No, that's not. He don't give a fuck. Is the real reason when you see these cunts and why they do this stuff? They just want to feel important. They just want to feel important for 5 minutes. It ties in. See, I did it once again, Sam. The show, it had a thing about being important, living your fucking movie, right? Everyone just wants to feel more important than what they fucking are. And that's why you get all this like weird little activism. It's not. You're not even an activist. You're not doing anything. You're not changing anything. It's the lowest stakes type of activism. It is, I saw a thing. I didn't like a thing. I went on social media to say thing is bad. I hoped to go viral. Corporation changed the thing that didn't need to be changed and was hurting nobody, and everyone feels good and important about themselves. The corporation give themselves a big pat. Hey, just as well that Jobsworth cunt came along, gave us all that free publicity. Fucking hell. Yeah, no, and we look woke as fuck, don't we? We look woke as fuck. Yeah, we're going to get loads of people buying our products now thinking we're woke when all we actually care about is profit. We use child labor. It's all fine. No one ever talks about that, though, because everyone loves their iPhone. Now I'm going to lecture you about what's a sin. It's ridiculous. It's the lowest stakes activism in the world. It's so self-serving. It doesn't fix any of the problems. And the only reason you noticed it is because of your own lack of problems. You exist in a world free of real issues. You have food, you have shelter. Probably these people all have nice jobs, make enough, have disposable income. Guarantee none of the people that are complaining about shit like this have ever been down a fucking pit. Or grind away in a fucking factory, or get industrial diseases for less than minimum wage and die in their 40s and 50s as a result of it. And then the government covers it up and you don't get workers' comp or nothing. So your kids have to start the cycle of misery and degradation anew. Like shit that's plagued working class communities. Never heard any of my fucking uncles. Have you seen that sign in that car park? Too busy fucking dying of black lung. Probably. It's ridiculous. Right, end the show on that note, I think. So all that remains to be said. I'm hoping you haven't fell asleep at the wheel again. Wait, if I call him, that's a good idea.
Oh, what the fuck? What were you doing? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Wait.
Hello?
Yeah, there he is. Sorry, just had to wake you up, mate. We're ending the show.
I'm tripping, man. I was listening, and I must have just not heard you talk to me, because then I just heard, I'm just calling him now. For some reason, I thought, that's just not me. And then no, it was me, yeah. Right.
It's all right, it is late.
Back in the room, mate. Darren Brown taught me, just drifted me out, mate.
It's all right, you can go back to bed, buddy. It's we're gonna end the show. We're gonna end the show now.
Fucking sounds like about time, but apparently.
So all that remains to be said, of course, is thanks for tuning in. I might stream a little bit later on. We'll see how I'm feeling. These shows do take a lot of energy out of me, you know.
And me.
Yeah, and you. So thanks to our sponsors, rivalry.gg/RLS. You can go and go to that link. You create an account, you get $350 for VIP bonuses. Supports the show, supports the channel, supports me, supports Sam, supports everything probably. Supports in a
sports thick neck.
Yeah, supports. Neck. Yeah, and for every person who signs up, I'll give something to the thick neck.
Get my neck a rub.
Society. Yeah, all that. Not gonna do that. That's not legally binding. So anyway, yeah. So we'll end the show there. Thanks to everybody who tuned in, liked, subscribed, donated, fucking whatever. I don't even know what kids do these days. I'm off to have a beer. Sam's off to go back to straight to bed. And we'll see you on the next Richard Lewis show. Ta-ta.